Hi YouTube, it's Mike with Kane's Autograph. Welcome back everyone. For the weekend in November 30th, I had 17 returns with 35 autographs. This week I got a World Series MVP, some baseball all-stars, a football Hall of Famer, and a trade from a former NFL player. First up, Rick Dempsey returned 3 of 3 in 12 days. Dempsey is a two-time World Series winner. He was the MVP of the 1983 World Series. If you ever want to check out something interesting, YouTube Dempsey Rain Delay Theater. And then he has been a very impressive player to listen to on podcasts. He's got some great stories. My next return was from Phil Reagan. He played for 12 years for the Tigers, Dodgers, Cubs, and White Sox. And then he managed one season for the Orioles where his record was 71 and 73. And he was an all-star back in 1966. My next return was from Terry Kennedy of 2 of 2 in 16 days. He was a four-time All-Star, Silver Slugger winner. Um, on the triple card, George Fraser has passed. Tom Bruno will sign, and he runs a hunting guide service here in South Dakota. Next up was former Twin Mark Bunderbunk, and he returned 2 of 2 in 26 days. Mark played two seasons for the Twins. He played in 1981 and then again in 1985. Ernie McNally was a right-handed pitcher. He spent four seasons in Major League as a member of the Expos, and he signed two of two cards for me in 53 days. My next return was from David Clyde, and he was once billed as the next Sandy Koufax. Pretty high expectations for anybody. He played for the Rangers and the Indians. He had a really promising baseball career, which ended at the age of 26 because of arm and shoulder injuries. He was kind of that high school phenomena, and they brought him up to sell seats and just blew out his arm. Next up, I got a Hall of Famer in Bob Lilly. Bob is nicknamed Mr. Cowboy. He's in both the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the College Football Hall of Fame. Got this back in 10 days. Brad Edwards was a 2 for 2 in 47 days, and he won a Super Bowl. He played for the Vikings, Redskins, Falcons, and Packers. And right now he works as the NFL Alumni Association CEO. Next up, I got Byron Brown, 2 of 2 in 17 days. Mr. Brown played for the Cubs, Astros, Cardinals, and Phillies. This was a 1 of 2. Roland Lawrence returned these cards in 39 days. He kept one of the cards, which is fine. He doesn't have to sign. I'm infringing on him asking for an autograph. Next up, I got Joe Nash. Mr. Nash has kind of a unique story. He signed as an undrafted free agent by the Seahawks in 1982 from Boston College, and then he went on to play in a record 218 games over 15 seasons. Russ Morman played from 1986 to 1997 for the White Sox, Royals, and Marlins. He then managed in the Marlins and Red Sox system. Dave Campbell played in parts of 8 seasons, primarily as an infield for the Padres. He had the nickname of Soup, a reference to the soup, Campbell Soup. After playing, he began a broadcasting career for the Padres and Rockies. Then he went on to work for ESPN for Sunday Night Baseball and the show Baseball Tonight. I remember watching that and just loved that show. Next up, I got Don Baylor or Baylor Moore, 3 of 3 in 49 days. Um, Mr. Moore was the first player drafted by the Expos. Next up, this one was pretty cool. I got Dusty Baker, 2 of 2 in 28 days. He was a two-time All-Star, two-time World Series winner back in 81 when he was a player with the Dodgers, and then in 2022 when he was a manager of the Astros. This was my most unique return from Ted Fritsch. Ted is a former football center. His father, Ted, played for the Green Bay Packers. Um, so I sent two cards to him, and he signed the one and sent it back, and then he traded me these two other cards for one of the cards he kept. The one in the middle is just a photograph, but he autographed it for me. And then the other one was a card, and he said that that was his favorite card. That was my returns for the week. I want to share just one more thing that I've gotten, and this was a 1985 photo that I got autographed with Clint Hurdle. I saw Ray Knight was doing a signing with Coach's Collectibles, so I sent it off, and really it kind of turned into a little bit longer than I had anticipated. Mr. Knight had a delay, but Coach's Collectibles was great about letting me know what was going on. So the signing got postponed for a while. Afterwards, I got it signed, and then the owner of Coach's Collectible called and asked if I'd like to get him to have Mr. Hernandez and Doc Gooden to sign it. He said he had a couple signings coming up with them, so I sent it off thinking I would get two of the four players autographed on it, and I would go through like past pros to get Keith Hernandez. Really happy with how this turned out. I think it looks really sharp. So thanks, Coaches Collectibles. Give me a like, subscribe, leave your comments, tell me what you think of my returns, share it with your friends, and have a great week. Thanks.